Hallelujah. Now, one rule, you know what I'm saying, is to be understood, you know what I'm saying, is that you know, with the inoculations, you know what I'm saying, the vaccine, or another scientific word, inoculations, is not nothing new. It's really ancient, prehistoric, you know what I'm saying, African knowledge, African science. You know what I'm saying? And this science is rooted in the tablets of Ebla, papyruses in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Written in books in Israel, ancient black Israel, the first Israel, the only Israel. Vaccines and inoculations in the Phoenician culture, the Canaanite culture, who are the prehistoric Egyptians. The Canaanites are the prehistoric Egyptians. They was Egypt before the Egypt that we know in our time period is today. The Canaanites go back thousands of years before the Egyptians, known as Taseti, was there. You see, you got Taseti, and you got Tanisi. You see, that's Nubia. But before they was there, or you know, the understanding of the Egyptians from 3000 BC, and we know it way before them, it was pyramids being built. That science was already being done, and they knew that. The pyramids before theirs was larger and bigger. That's why Khufu's pyramid, the Great Giza pyramid, which each brick is about the size of a 3-bedroom house. Each brick. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way up hundreds of feet in the earth. A pyramid built of bricks the size of houses. Multi-ton bricks. Now, that pyramid was one of the pyramids that science was extended from, because the Giza pyramid is one of the oldest pyramids over in Egypt. That pyramid, after that one, no other pyramids was at that level of magnificence. No other pyramids. That's why they call it the Great Pyramid. No pyramid top it architecture, the geometry on it. No pyramid over in Egypt could top that. And that science came from the prehistoric Egyptians before modern day, you know what I'm saying, or well, before the prehistoric, before the dynastic Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? The dynastic period will go from 3500 BC all the way up to probably about the invasion of Greece, which about 300 BC was pretty much the end of ancient Egyptian history. Egyptian, which are God's people. Israel is God's children. Okay, now, those Egyptians, the Canaanite, the Phoenicians, man, they the ones who built the Sphinx. These people are the ones who the Sphinx are the huge lion heads. That's going back 25,000 BC. Dynastic period Egyptian is what? 20 years. 20, the dynastic period as we know of Egypt is 20,000 years after the dynastic period. That's when the Sphinx was born. You got structures in Egypt, but they old and they just utterly ruined to where you really can't recognize it. But some of those structures, you know what I'm saying, were old pyramids that had been in existence for 25, 30,000 years. You know, ain't nothing gonna stay on the planet. That, you know what I'm saying? You know, everything has a time of fall and destruction and decay, the same way it had a time of construction and building. So these type of people who they call aliens are really high African civilizations that our ancestors created. So whenever you get to the root of where they get their knowledge from, they always tell you, oh yeah, but that part, yeah, the aliens gave us it. So yeah, we've been doing vaccines and inoculations to where you take certain herbs, you take certain animal parts. They knew the science all the way to where if what a giraffe eye, the fluid from that could heal. That's all in the vaccines. It's just a whole concoction. If you go to Dr. Layla Africa, Google him and his breakdown, as he's a doctor, he tells you everything that's in 90% of the vaccines. Whale semen, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of this science came from ancient black prehistoric culture. I'm talking about going back 800, 900,000 years ago. That's how cold we is. We look at us, you talking about a people who, you trying to find their history, man, you talking about a people. History that's 800, 900,000 years. And when we say our ancestors, that's just what we saying. But our civilization and us being on this planet, we got record of going back over 250 million years. You got different epochs, you got different periods, you got different times when we supposed to be ruling the planet. Then you got a certain time we supposed to be resting on the planet. And usually we'll set up a Gentile nation, you know what I'm saying, or a Neanderthal nation, and we'll raise them up to consciousness, and then we'll turn them black. So it'll look like they putting us in slavery, but what we really doing is allowing them to come amongst us in a very, very intimate level. It's a level where the Gentile don't know that he think that he's oppressing you, but what you doing, you teaching and giving him civilization by allowing him to be around you and your spirit get on him and turn him from a bestial nature. See, his bestial nature make him think that he's oppressing you, he's enslaving you. His bestial nature think he's raping you, he's doing this to you. His bestial nature, okay? Think that he's robbing you, he's taking you from one country to another country, you know what I'm saying? Or packing you on a boat like sardines. Taking you out of the land of Israel, off the continent of Eden, and then bringing you here over to America. He thought he was doing that, but we allowed them to do that. We have done this thousands of times. Each race that you see that start off pale skin or fair skin, and then they go from an albino stage to yellow skin. Then go from that yellow skin into brown skin, then from that brown skin into black skin. We have done this with all. What's up, man? We have done this with all races. That's why each race, you go to the Chinese, you go to the Japanese, you go to the Arabian, you go to the Afghanistan, you go to the East Indian, you go to the Pakistanis, and what they are a multitude of colors. They're not just like the African. They're one shade of darkness. The whole tribe is jet black. Ain't no light jet black, ain't no half jet black. Some tribes is like that, but generally African tribes don't do that. And what you see is in the other Gentile races, in other races, they have multitude of colors. That's because that's a new race to the planet. They haven't evolved all the way fully into the color of what they great granddaddy is. So they're gradually evolving into blackness. meaning they started from a Gentile race or a pale skin race. Now they're growing into their blackness. So when you look at the African, the deep-rooted Africanoid person, highly melanin dominant genes, you're looking at a person that went from that same stage of the albino stage to the fair skin, then yellow skin, then brown skin, then black skin, then very black skin. You had some of us that to get to that stage, it takes over 1 to 10 million years. That's how you know you've been on the planet that long by your blackness. And not necessarily your blackness, but your melanin content. Because sometimes your pigmentation or your phenotype does not determine your genotype. Your genotype comes from who your father is. So you can have a light-skinned person who father comes from deep Africa, dark skin. But his phenotype looks like he's an American or European or a mulatto, mixed breed. But knowing his roots and who his father is, you know, I tell the difference.